Good morning, Flosstube. It's good to be back. Today is Saturday, June 30th. Hard to believe we're almost into July. I've been away for a few weeks on vacation and traveling, and I had a great time. But I've been really looking forward to visiting with you. Hope you've been doing lots of stitching the last few weeks. I've gotten quite a bit done, and I'm really excited to tell you about it. The Rebel Curl is kind of getting in the way this morning. Okay. So, did I say I'm Misty? If you're new here, I'm Misty. Welcome. If you've been here before, you already know who I am. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for visiting. Let's see, what's new? Well, I went to Cleveland for a few days to attend the National Needle Arts Association show. It's basically like a trade show for yarn shops. And so I had the opportunity to attend that, and there were some booths with needlepoint as well, and Witch Alt was there. And so that was kind of cool. I think it's mostly just, for yarn shops that would carry needlework or weaving supplies. There was a bit of weaving as well. So with Witch Alt, it was a lot of like Mill Hill stuff on display, and they had these fabric swatches on a wall with like all of their fabric, just these little squares so you could see it in person, which was really cool and handy. What else? So then there was some weaving stuff there, but a lot of the weaving was geared towards knitters, which is fine. It just wasn't quite the things that I was looking for as far as like for my personal weaving, but I think it's a great idea to get knitters weaving. And it was just cool seeing all that yarn. Lots and lots of yarn from everyone. So it was really a neat opportunity to see, just any yarn company you know of pretty much was there. It was really cool. And I got to watch the fashion show and see some garments knit up in different yarns, and I got to try a few things on, which was cool. And while we were in Cleveland, got to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and got to check out a yarn shop and a cross stitch shop, so I'll talk about those later. And then I went to Michigan to visit my mom for about a week and had a great time with her, and we just kind of traveled around Michigan, and we went to some antique shops and a needlework shop, which was also a yarn shop. And I milked a lot of goats and fed some baby goats and just kept busy. So it's been a great few weeks, and but it feels good to be back too. So okay, so first I wanted to mention a floss tuber that I've been watching recently, and her name is Leah Noel. She has been doing all kinds of really cool projects, and I've been friends with her on Instagram, but I recently started checking out her videos. So she is stitching, or just finished, the Drawn Threads Welcome Summer, and it's stunning. And I have that kitted up. I was just looking for like a couple of threads that I needed. I just finally got them while I was away. And then I saw hers finished, and it's stunning. So you should check her out. She had a few other things that were beautiful too. She's doing a red work piece that's from some Russian kit, and it's beautiful. It's got kind of a variegated thread to it that she's using. It's really stunning. She's working on a Christmas stocking that's beautiful. It's from a Dimensions kit. She's just got all kinds of really cool projects, and she's a really cool person. I think she's Aviatrix Stitcher on Instagram. But her channel name on Flosstube is Leah Noel, so I'll link that below. Please go and check her out and say hello if you haven't before. Oh, and she mentioned me, so thank you, Leah Noel, for the shout out. I really appreciate it. I've been really behind on Flosstube, so if you've mentioned me, if you shouted me out and I somehow missed that, please let me know, because I don't mean to ignore anyone. I'm just really behind, and I'm trying to catch up, but I'm like weeks behind because I've been gone. So if you've mentioned me and I have not acknowledged that, I'm really sorry. And please just, leave me a comment or something. And, I want to go, if I've not, check you out. So, Okay, I finished some stuff, and I am so happy because I don't know if you know this, but I really like finishing things. So let's start. Let's not delay any longer. Um, which will I start with? Okay, we'll start with the tiny knits. I finished the last of the mittens in the series, and technically I still have a few stockings and a couple hats, but after I kind of laid out what I had, I'm like, I have enough that it's done. So we're done. The whole thing, it's all done. So here is how this is just to give you a sense of how I'm going to display it. And so I've got a set for me and a set for my mom. And I'm just going to put it on baker's twine. You can see I've got these tiny little clothespins that are very breakable. I'm going to have to get a couple more bags of those for my mom and myself. So this is, just a sense of what it'll look like. I'll probably space them out more when I actually hang them up. This is going to be my set. And what else was I going to say about that? I don't know. It's like kind of anticlimactic when you just suddenly decide you're done rather than like you're working towards something and you finish it. So it's just, I feel kind of weird. Like I'm in this limbo phase of like, well, I'm done, but I don't know. I'll give you a little bit more of a close up here. But I am really happy. I'm happy with how it turned out. It's super cute. I like the baker's twine. I love the tiny clothespins. It's a super cute series. And so I took a photo, just because it's hard to display them both, of my mom's set, which I'll insert here. And so I'm going to, I don't know how she'll want to display hers. I don't know if she'll want to put them on her tree or if she'll want to do the garland like I'm doing. So I'm just going to give it to her as the garland, and then she can decide what she wants to do. I left kind of extra baker's twine on mine because I'm not sure where I'm going to hang it up yet. I have a couple of ideas, but I don't know. So now that it's done, I can put it away until Christmas. Yay. But yeah, it's super cute and I really like it. So I'm really glad. And I think after I have some more space from it and I pull it back out, come November, I'll be even happier about it than I am right now. So that was from the Wee Winter Woolens Knit Along, and those are free patterns. I'll link to that blog that's by Just Crafty Enough. And I used size 1 double pointed needles to knit them, and they're fingering weight yarn. I guess that's all I have to say about that. So I started this last year in June, and I'm finished in June. So awesome, thank God. That was a long whip. And so I was really happy to cross it off my list of works in progress. Me in series. Then, and I'm even more excited about this, if that's possible, but it's true. I finished my American Eagle piece from the Blackbird Designs Sweet Land of Liberty. I used the called for linen, which was Confederate gray. I used 32 count, and I used a mix of the called for DMC and over dyes, except I changed out the red to baked apple. It was Old Run paint. I used Weeks baked apple, and it's perfect. So here it is. It's awesome. Yay! Okay, so let me tell you about this. Just as a comment, I think I mentioned this in my last video, but the pattern has just one letter here, and I kind of shifted things so that I could put both of my initials. I don't think there's anything else I want to say about the stitching. So what I did is I watched Teresa Vinette, she's Kitten Stitcher. I watched her tutorial on how to stretch your cross stitch to frame it. And I have to say that I think between Teresa and then seeing Leslie Hurley do it, I'm like, well, okay, I should be able to do this, right? Theoretically, if they can do it, so can I. So that was very encouraging. So I appreciate Teresa taking all the time to go through it, and I appreciate also Leslie posting about her own framing. It's always encouraging when other people do stuff, then you're like, okay, well, they're doing it, so I should be able to as well. So that gave me courage. So I went to the frame shop, my local frame shop, and I picked out a couple of frames, and I was thinking blue. And then I happened to notice this piece hanging on the wall, and I was really glad I spied it. And then I was kind of debating between this and the blue. What I liked about this is I liked that it looked kind of old, and I really liked this kind of braided looking piece down here, the kind of beading. I thought it kind of mimicked what was happening in the piece. And it's hard to tell in this light, I think, but it's actually got just the slightest, and it actually wasn't on the piece in the shop, but the piece that came has just the slightest pink that pulls this in person. I don't think it's evident in this video, but it really pulls that red out just a little bit, really nicely. So I was debating between the blue and the white, and I asked my boyfriend what he thought, and he thought white. And I was kind of leaning towards the white, and then I was like, well, tell me what the difference in price is, and then maybe, because I was like, if the white's really expensive, I'm probably not going to do it. But it ended up being cheaper than the blue one I was looking at. I was like, okay, easy. I had them, so they do things a little bit differently than what Teresa described doing in her video as far as the process. So they cut my foam core so that I could stretch the needlework, and they wanted me to do that first, whereas in her video she talks about having them make the frame, and then cut the foam core to fit the frame. This place actually gave me the piece. The piece of foam core, they wanted me to stretch it at home, and then they were going to build the frame to fit it and take the piece back. So that's what we did. So I took it home. I had starched this with Best Press, and I was debating whether to wash it out or leave it in, but I thought it might be easier, because this is the Weeks linen, which is stretchy. I thought it might be easier on me if I left the starch in, so I did. I was wondering if that was a bad thing. I tried to read up on Best Press, and is there anything bad about leaving it in? I couldn't find anything, so I'm just like, well, I'm just leaving it in, and if 10 years from now I regret it, then oh well. Then I'll be smarter. And so the stretching really was not bad at all. You know, Teresa's video is great. I had gotten it kind of stretched, and then I realized I needed to shift it, so I had to take the pins out, but probably all told, maybe it took me a little over an hour to stretch. And then I took it back to the shop, and they kept the piece. They build the frame just a tiny bit bigger than your piece, so there's a little bit of room to shift if you need to. And within like a couple of days, they had it ready, and I took it in, and I told them I wanted to start doing this myself, so that I was just relying on them to cut the frame, basically. So they walked me through finishing this up, from installing it to putting the brads in and putting the paper on the back, and how to put this on, and the bumpers and everything. So it was very easy, and I probably only spent, like 15 minutes at the shop learning how to do that. It was of course, they have all these nice tools, so it goes really fast, but it was really a good experience, and I appreciated how flexible they were and helpful. It was great. So I'm just, super pleased with this. I think it's beautiful. And, I needed to get it on display, and I have to tell you that I still have my Easter stuff up because, I was sick for so long. I didn't feel well enough to try and take it down and change out my decor. So I've had Easter up, which is unusual for me. But anyway, once I got this back, I'm like, okay, you're back. It's time to start shipping things out. So after I got home, I've been like unpacking And my craft room was a disaster. So the first thing actually was to clean my craft room so that I could weave and quilt, which I haven't been doing either. It was too much. My closet has been dysfunctional since like Christmas because my mom gave me like my great grandmother's beads, and my mom's decided she's probably never gonna cross stitch again, so she gave me like all her DMC. So my floss, like, which was awesome, but like my floss doubled. Plus there's all this other stuff, so like my closet's been unfunctional. Anyway, I had a lot of cleaning to do since I got back this week. So I cleaned my craft room, and I cleaned my bedroom, and now I'm to the downstairs, and I'm cleaning stuff out of there and putting in my, switching it out to my patriotic decor. And so I found a place to display this, and I've got a couple of the old blue mason jars, and I put some flowers in, and it looks cool. So I love it. I'd really recommend this. This is a relatively quick stitch. It probably took me about a month to do, you know, while I'm rotating other things. And it was just really fun, and it's so pretty. The one thing I would say about this frame that I noticed is I think that it makes the piece a little bit lighter, whereas if I'd used a blue frame, I think it would have brightened the piece up a bit more. There's no like right or wrong, it's just an observation of kind of the effect of the frame itself. So something to think about when you're, you know, framing something is, you know, how bright it might make something, or it might make it look more, I think this makes it look kind of more vintagey. So it's just a comment or a thought I had after I had completed it. So that's awesome. And then lastly, this is a new start / finish. I wanted to work on Christmas gifts for friends, so I've started doing that. And I wanted to stitch a Brittercup ornament from just Cross Stitch Magazine, which I didn't bother to make note of. Okay, it's from the Christmas Ornament 2009 issue. So just Cross Stitch Christmas issue, the special issues of the Ornaments 2009. I stitched this. So this is 1/1 on 28 count Monaco that I had coffee tea dyed because I just wanted to see if I could do it. Let's see, this needs to shift a little bit. Okay. So, you know, after I stitched this, going back to 40 count, I was like, wow, 40 count's huge in comparison. Isn't this so cute? I love Brittercup. I've done a Halloween design by Brittercup. So I stitched one of these, and this was supposed to be a Christmas gift. I'm like, I can't give it away because I like it so much. So I was like, well, I'm going to have to stitch one for me then. So I stitched a second one. And I put the heart on the cat. I didn't put it on the other cat because it's for my friend, and her cats are all boy cats, so I wasn't sure if the heart was too feminine. And then I didn't have a star to put on top of the tree, and so I was kind of debating, would I put a bead or do like a back stitch star or what? And Liz is so sweet from Country Stitchers. She commented on my Instagram post, and she said, I have a really tiny star in my stash that might work. Do you want me to check? And I was like, oh, thank you. But we were going to do some shopping, and I kind of like to do treasure hunting. So I like to have like something I'm looking for just because it's kind of fun. So I was like, thanks, and if I don't find something, I'll let you know. But that was so sweet of her to offer. And I just finally found these stars. So these stars, I think they're from a Lizzie Kate Flip It piece. But they were like a really good size for this. It was hard to find the right size star that wasn't a weird color. I think I'm going to finish these in a circle possibly with some kind of red cording or maybe ribbon or something around the outside. I'm still not entirely certain, but something along those lines is what I'm thinking. So hopefully at my next video I'll have those done. So it felt great to get so much done, and I love them. So I've been on a finishing kick. Okay, so those are all my FOs, and then whips. Okay. The American flag quilt sampler, I'm still plugging away. Oh, it's at the bottom. Let's do that last. Goat load. Almost no progress to speak of on goat load, but I did get a little tiny bit done since the last time I showed it to you. Not much. Just a wee bit. This is on 36 count Vintage Country Mocha. And I'm using the DMC threads. I did change, I didn't have whatever color that was, so I just used something that I thought looked good, that was close. So that's going well. I like stitching it when I actually am stitching it, but I'm only stitching it on Sundays. So this is a gift for my mom, although I think I'm gonna have to stitch one for me, especially after I saw the hen peck that just is coming out. That's so cute. So I need both, I think, on display. So funny story, my mom and I are out at a cross stitch shop, and I knew it was kind of risky taking her there because there's a chance that she might like find that design in a shop and then want to buy it because of the goats. So she had looked through this basket and she'd already moved on. And then I looked through it and I saw a goat load was in there and she missed it, which I was like, thank goodness. So then she eventually asks the owner, so do you happen to have any cross stitch with goats on it? And she's like, oh, did you see this over here? And I'm like, no. So of course my mom like grabs it. She takes it to the counter. I'm like, Mom, don't buy that. She's like, what? And I'm like, don't buy that. You're spoiling your surprise. So, you know, what can you do? I can do the same thing. I kind of spoil my own surprises sometimes, so I can't blame her. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So she'll still get that for her birthday. I'm kind of hoping she forgets by the time her birthday rolls. I didn't say when she was getting it, so yeah, that was too funny. Sally Spencer, coming along. Now, so I did actually work, normally I'm working on Sally's on Saturdays, but I took it as my trip project along with those ornaments. So it was pretty much all I was working on, which meant that I got some things done. So here is where Sally is. I'm really liking the colors on this a lot. And it looks a little bit dulled out in the video, but they're very vibrant in person. So I had changed the darkest color to raw iron. I think that was Gentle Arts. And I changed the buttermilk to, I think it's Finley Gold, which I think is a classic color works, if I remember correctly. So I had thought to do the M and the P in different colors like Deb was talking about from Country Stitchers, to do both my initials in a different color to have them stand out. And I had thought to do white, and you couldn't see it at all. So, and I'd already accidentally stitched the P, and I'm like, okay, we're just gonna go with what's charted. I'm not doing that. I should have probably, if I'd thought about it, not done that in the whatever color this is that I can't remember right now, and I should have done the M in that color and then the P in that color. But anyway, I have to say that I'm not enjoying the stitching of these letters. And I thought maybe it was just me, but I was watching Leslie Hurley and she was saying the same thing. So I'm going to say that it's just that these letters, maybe for us, they're not our favorite way to stitch letters or something. I don't think I am swearing off stitching all letters forever and ever, but something about all the moving around I have to do and planning just to stitch a letter, it feels like a lot of work or something. I don't know. I'll be glad when the alphabet's over. Then there won't be much left. But it's going to be really pretty, and I don't know how I'll finish it. It looks really good when I see other people's framed, so I'll probably frame it, but I don't know if I'll see what I have, if I have anything I can frame it already in my stash, or if I maybe want to order a frame. So Sally's coming along, but the alphabet needs to end soon, and if I could just end it here, I would. Good times, good times. AFQ SAL, Stitch-A-Long, which is a party of maybe 3 or so of us right now. I didn't take this with me on vacation, so I've worked on it a little bit since I last saw you, before and after. and I'm keeping up relatively well. I just, didn't work on it for a couple of weeks. So I finished Connecticut, and I'm working on Massachusetts. Massachusetts has a lot of fractional stitches, it feels like, or at least that border did here. It's like one non-fractional stitch and then 2 fractional stitches in every single triangle, which was a little bit of a painful re-entry into this project after not working on it for a while. So Connecticut, I made some changes, accidental and intentional. I accidentally shifted the yellow and green here where they were supposed to be. And then what I did, it has back stitching coming down the X, or I don't know what to call this. It's kind of an X. Anyway, that light part was supposed to be back stitching, and I ended up just stitching X's there instead to brighten it up. So, yeah, so Massachusetts is underway, and hopefully I'll have that done tomorrow because I'm trying to do 1 a week. And then you can see I'm kind of sneaking across here to kind of complete the rest of this side here and there where I can. So that's coming along. It's looking beautiful. Every time I finish one, it's like a small finish, which is a really good feeling. So that's one thing that's kind of rewarding about this project is that, because you're finishing like a square at a time, it feels like you are finishing things and like that you're seeing progress, things are moving along. So that's kind of a nice feature of this project for me personally, that it keeps me motivated because of that. Okay, so those are my whips, and what else? Christmas in July. Lots of people are doing Christmas in July. I know Jan Hicks is doing Christmas in July, and I saw the Addicted Sisters posted a list on Instagram of kind of like a theme for each day, and that's fun too. So there's all kinds of cool stuff happening in July. And Jacque of Cross My Stitches got in touch with me right before I left for vacation, and she was saying that she wanted to do the Cricut Collection's 12 Days of Christmas during the first 12 days of July, and that she knew I was working on it, and did I want to stitch along with her? And I was like, oh, that's a great idea. I would love to do that. So the first 12 days of July, we are both going to be stitching on the 12 Days of Christmas series from Cricut Collection. It's 4 leaflets, and there's 3 designs per leaflet. If you watched my very first Flosstube video from January, you'll have seen these. So I have 3 left to stitch. I have 9, 10, and 12 left. And Jackie's going to do 1 each day. So the first day she'll do 1, the second day she'll do 2, etc. So you can, if you'd like to join us, the hashtag is Xmas in July 2018. And you can do it however you want. You can do 1 each day. You can do some other combination. I was talking with Carla Mick on Instagram. Hi, Carla. And she was saying that she had 3 left to do. And then since there's 3 times 4 is 12 days, that she would do 4 days on each one. And I thought that was a really good idea because I hadn't been quite sure how I would divide up mine. But since I have 3 left, I ought to spend like 4 days per ornament and get them done. And then I can fully finish them later this month. So that's what I'm going to do as well. So Jacque and I are both having a giveaway. She invited me to do that with her, which is so sweet. So she is having a giveaway on her channel, which I'll link below so that you can go check out her video. And she's giving away 2 charts. And then she offered to do a giveaway for me for my channel as well with an extra chart that she had because she had a few extras. So I'm going to be offering up 1 chart for a giveaway. So the giveaway is for this leaflet here on the 4th day of Christmas, and that includes 4, 5, and 6. So if you'd like to be entered for the giveaway, then you must be 18 or older. You need to not say giveaway, and you need to answer the question, what are you stitching right now? That's it. So if you'd like to be entered, let me know what you're stitching right now. Just to show you what the charts are that you would need if you want to do the whole series. So on the first day of Christmas, then the one I just showed you, the fourth day of Christmas, out of order. Here we go. The seventh day of Christmas with the awesome cow. I'm about to do the woodpecker next. That's where I'm at, number 9. And then My True Love Gave to Me is the last one. I think 1, 2, 3 Stitch has like 3 of these. If you can't find them, a good place is Ye Old Cross Stitchery, which I'd mentioned in an earlier video. Ye, Y-E, Ye Old Cross Stitchery. I know she can get them all for you because she has them all listed. So even if she has to order them, she's got like I said, 4,000 charts or something in stock. But check with Mary there if you can't find all of them and you need one. So I'll be working, like I said, on my 9, 10, and 12. What I do to make my life easier these days is I take my cut piece of fabric. I don't know what I'm using. This is mystery linen. And I cut out the template already. And then I can just kind of position it and then find the spot to start. And it's just kind of a fast way. I start from kind of the middle top, you know, wherever it shows you. I can't really show you on the chart, but on the chart, there's like a little arrow pointing to the start of it. So anyway, I just do that. What else do I want to say? I'm using an acid-free, what is this called? This is from Michaels. Strathmore Artist paper. I don't know. It's backwards for me because of the camera. Anyway, I'm using this because the mat board that Vanna suggests for ornaments, I find a little bit difficult to cut out into shapes. So, I mean, I use it for like squares and rectangles or whatever, or maybe like a circle, but I just thought this was a little bit easier for me to just use scissors on. And then if it's kind of bumpy, you can just use sandpaper and kind of sand down, which I did do to get a little bit smoother edge. So that's what I'm using for these. For other things, I do use the mat board like Vanna talks about for some of her things. But for this, I'm using that. What else do I'm all over the place. So I had fully finished one of these just to see how it would go. And I ended up lacing this. Interestingly, I was listening to a Fiber Talk conversation with Vanna, and she's started lacing things too. So that's kind of her preferred method now. I thought the lacing worked well for this, and I didn't have any problems. So what I did was I used Wonder Clips to position it in place, and then I laced it. And then I made this like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. So my memory of how I exactly did this is not going to be super accurate. But I picked I think this is like a Kona cotton from my local quilt shop to put on the back. And I actually stitched the cording down. And I may put a bow at the top, although that might cover her up. I don't know. Or I might put a bead at the bottom. So I've got all of the other ones stitched up through 9. So I showed you these before. Sorry, I'm going to quick show them again just in case you didn't watch video number 1 or whenever it was and you want to see them. They've been appearing here and there. They're super cute. They're pretty fast stitch. I would say a few days for me. I'm kind of a slower stitcher though. You might be able to knock them out faster. I left off the snow on some of them. Do what you want. I didn't use the Krynic. Use Krynic if you want. Don't if you don't. Do what you like. The backs of these get better and better because some of these are from a long time ago and then some of these are more recent. So the recent ones have nice backs. And the old ones have not nice backs. Speaking of a not nice back. So my mom, I show this in my Instagram like around Christmas. When I was in college, or as I was graduating, I think it was for Mother's Day or maybe my mom's birthday, I wanted to stitch her, must have been her Mother's Day, I wanted to stitch her something. I didn't have money to really buy or anything. So I decided I would stitch her something. And that I hadn't stitched since, I was 11 or 12. So I picked something out and it had a goat on it. And I showed it on my Instagram around Christmas because my mom had gotten it back out. So I finished it, and then I didn't have the money to frame it, but I thought she would frame it, but then she never framed it. So it's never been framed. And so I told her when she got it back out, not that this is like anything, not like my stitching was like amazing here or anything, but might as well frame it and put it on display. This is from probably like 2003. I have no idea who designed it. I know nothing about it. This is some Ada I stitched it on. I don't even know what count it is. But so we've been like on thinking how we should go look for frames, and then we never remember to. And I decided that since the framing is going well, with me doing the framing, that I would stretch this and I would buy a frame, and I would frame it for her as a surprise for when she comes to visit me in a couple weeks. So I went to the frame shop and I picked out a more expensive frame than I meant to. But, whatever. It's well overdue for being finished. So I wanted to pick something that I thought she would like. But, oh my gosh, the back of this, you guys. OMG. I got some cleaning up to do before I frame this, don't I? Yeah. But I don't feel bad because, hey, that was like, 15 years ago? So it's okay to show my back from that long ago, right? I dropped my paper. Hang on. Oh, related to the giveaway. So, as I said, my mom's coming to visit, and so I will be busy with her. I won't be able to do another video until Sunday, July 15th. So I will keep the giveaway for that chart open and through Saturday the 14th, and then on Sunday the 15th, I will announce the winner of the chart, and I will post my next video. So my next video will be like one day late. I have some haul, and mostly it's charts. And I thought I was done buying charts because honestly, like, I think we've all talked about how we need an intervention of some kind. I don't need any more charts. It's kind of hard with Prairie Schooler because I feel like, and Blackbird Designs, because you feel like they could just go out of print at any time and then you'd be out of luck. But I still seem to be buying other things. So, I went to the Crafty U in Cleveland, which was an amazing shop. I saw this mentioned, I think, on Buckeye Stitcher's Instagram. And it was only like a 20-minute drive from the convention center for the TNNA show. So I stopped by, and first, a friend found this for me, and she gifted it to me. This coffee is making me awesome. Isn't that perfect? So this is a little needle minder. Sorry for the lawn mowing noise. 'Tis the season. I decided to purchase 46 count linen. This is a vintage exemplar. I wanted to just see if I can stitch on 46 count. That's why I got it, just to see what would happen. So this is an experiment. I'll just do like an ornament probably on this, or a small of some kind. Do you ever just do stuff because you want to see if you can do it? I do that a lot. And then I picked up a few. I mostly picked up floss, actually. I was kitting up some projects, so I won't show you that. But oh my gosh, they had so many beautiful models on the wall. I wanted to buy like everything. It was a beautiful shop, just a really great shop. And the person working there was super nice. She wasn't the owner, but she was very knowledgeable and just a great person. The shop was very cheerful, friendly. like I wanted to be there. So I really recommend it. I will definitely be going back like every time I go to Michigan. It's a good halfway point for me. So I've been wanting this, The Spell of the Moon from Blackbird Designs. And I also got Sewing Bird by Brenda Gervais. And this is again one of those things where I've seen it, I don't think I've seen it in person, but I've seen it on Instagram or someone's video or something, and it really is stunning and much more appealing than it looks, unfortunately, in this picture here. So that was that, and I ordered a few things at the Crafty U. They had this stitched over one, and they had it in a little ornament display that was so cute. So I had to order this from 123 Stitch because they didn't have it anymore. They mentioned, and I'd seen this elsewhere, that a distributor might be picking up Lizzie Kate. Have you heard this? Can anyone confirm? Does anybody know anything about this? I want to know. Betty Yulin had loaned me her copy, but I do want to support the reprint of these designs, so I did purchase mine, and I'll return Betty's to her. She was so sweet to send me hers. I was about to start this on my trip, and then I was kind of debating whether I ought to change the colors a little bit more to make them just a little bit darker than my rabbit run. So this is kind of in a holding pattern until I make up my mind, and I might actually save it for next spring as something to look forward to doing then. So I don't know what's going to happen with this, if it's going to be now or next spring. Okay, so I got those from 123 Stitch. From Beach Cottage Stitchers, I ordered this. I've been wanting it, and then I saw on Priscilla and Chelsea's video that this is going away or is already gone, and I managed to snag one, which made me very happy. So cute. You know how I feel about Halloween, and Halloween's been appearing in stores a little bit, mostly fall, but a little Halloween, and I'm already thinking about decorating for Halloween. And then I picked this up. I think it would be really cute in my tiered tray. I wasn't like super in love with this, but when I saw Yvonne, Night Owl Stitcher, do hers with like a little bit brighter blue, I thought that was really cool. So I might put a few of these in my tiered tray because I'm doing kind of a summery theme with farm animals. And so that I got from one of the local needle workshops here. And I also, when I was in Michigan, stopped at the Needlesmith, which is in Grand Haven. And it was just right down the road from an antique shop that we were visiting. This is a yarn and cross-stitch shop. And the owner was super nice. She had some beautiful displays, especially, I'm going to copy this. It was so cool. She had like a vine, like a floral vine that's, you know, wired that you'd get like at your craft store, like a Hobby Lobby or a Michael's. And then she'd hung Halloween ornaments from it. Oh my gosh. They were the Prairie Schooler. I think it was, I can't remember which one it was. You know, there's only a couple Halloween ornament ones where it's just ornaments. Anyway, she had that on display, and I about died. So I went out and got one of those viney things, and I'm going to put it up in my living room and hang my ornaments from that. So, one, she has good taste. Just, it was a nice display. And two, like, she was really nice and friendly and helpful and really pleasant. She was actually stitching when I got there, which is nice. You know, since it was also a yarn shop, and I would say it was more of a yarn shop than a cross-stitch shop, but she did have stitching. She had, you know, a really good selection of, you know, your three main overdyes, like Gentle Arts and Weeks and Classic Colorworks. So that was great. And this made me so happy that she had this, and I have to blame or thank, however you want to think about it, thank Robin Sampler Bird, because I had to buy this because she's been working on it. And I've been looking for it, and I know you can order it directly from them from Germany, but I wish they would have like a digital download. Since they don't, I was like, maybe I'll find it somewhere, and I found it there at her shop. They only had the one, so I'm sorry. She's not going to have more of these for you. But I picked this up, and she suggested, which was cool that she helped me with this, I was thinking of doing this in, well, possibly silks, although I might not, I don't know. But anyway, overdyes. But I thought I'd pull the DMC first. But I was talking about doing this kind of brown and more of like a gold green, and she suggested doing grasshopper. So I'm going to pull, whenever I get around to this, which who knows when that will be, I'm going to pull the other colors as DMC and then see if I can translate them to some overdyes and coordinate. So it's beautiful. And more Prairie Schooler because Prairie Schooler. You don't need a reason, right? I did not want to do this one until I was watching The Addicted Sisters, and Laura was doing this on like a bright blue, and I was like, oh, yeah. So I need to change the colors. Like, I need to put colors in this, and maybe on the fabric too, and then I can do it. So I've been kind of collecting these samplers. And I also got some Halloween, Trick or Treat, and Hocus Pocus. So that's my haul. I'll try to slow down. Famous last words. From the archives. Got some from the archives as I'm switching out my decorations. I just thought I'd pull all 3 of these things because I think that they're cute, and I thought I'd show them to you. So first is my first ever punch needle, which I started last summer. And this is a Michelle Palmer design. This is a crow. And it's already shaped as a heart when you buy the pattern. So, you know, I didn't know what I was doing, and it turned out fine. You don't have to know what you're doing to succeed at punch needle. You can just do it. If I can do it, you can do it. So if you want to give punch needle a try, what are you waiting for? Liz and Deb have a great video giving advice. You can watch Jan's walkthrough. She has a video, Jan Hicks, as like she kind of documents her first experiences with it. There's plenty of resources out there. There's other good videos too on YouTube about how to change direction and things like that. So there's plenty of resources. You don't even need a book, you know. But this was a good first project for me, and I think it went really well. Michelle's patterns are beautiful. She's Michelle Palmer on Etsy. That's where she sells her designs. And then I just gathered this ribbon, I sewed this tube of fabric and then gathered it to make it like a ribbon, you know. Do you know how to do that? That you do like long stitches and you do 2 rows and then you gather it. Anyway, that's what I did. And then I did another piece here that's heart-shaped as well. So these little clip things I actually got these at Bed Bath & Beyond, but you can just get the little clips by themselves at Michael's, I saw, which would be way easier than taking them off the rings like I did. I've seen people do this with quilting. I think it's really cool. Then you don't have to put any kind of sleeve or anything on the back, and you can just grab it and hang it. So that's what I did with this. So this will go up because Easter's got to go. And I'm hankering to do another punch needle project. I might do a patriotic one or something. I think I need something fast and fun. So I think that's going to probably be what's next for me. Along with a million other things that are next for me. Oh! That's how it goes. Stuff falls all over the place. I knitted these tiny little strawberries last year. These were kind of a fun little fast project. And I used some of my leftover scrap yarns. And then I just made them some different sizes, and I used some like leftover Madeline Taj from Alabrigo, and anyway, I just used some scraps, and now I've got a cute little berry basket. I may knit more of these this year. We'll see how I'm feeling, but they're kind of a fun, fast little project, and I don't remember what the pattern was. I'll link it in my video below after I look it up on Ravelry, so that if you're wanting to knit these, you can find it. Speaking of Ravelry, one kind of cool thing that happened while I was on vacation is that my latest towels, I always post my projects on Ravelry, and my latest towels were kind of featured along with some other weavers' projects on Ravelry's homepage under eye candy. So that was like such a treat. I started getting all these comments from knitters about my weaving projects, and normally knitters don't even like look at my weaving because, mostly only weavers do. And I hadn't even shared any of that stuff with any group, really. So I was like, why are these knitters commenting on my project? And then my friend told me that my project had been featured on the front page, and I was like, oh! And so I went and looked, and I was just like so flattered and thrilled. So that was really cool. And that's like the most likes I've ever gotten on anything on Ravelry, so it was just kind of cool. Other from the archives, and I was thinking of Amy Loves Toads when I pulled this out of my decorations, and I don't know why this is a summer decoration, and it isn't even a toad, it's a frog. But I thought of her anyway. Sorry, Amy. This is Flapjack Frog from Mochi Mochi Land. I don't know if you remember the tiny snowman I showed a few videos back, or however many videos back it was. That designer also designed a series of stackable frogs, like 3 of them, and they're all flat little frogs like this. And then he's got a little lily pad. So this is from years ago. I knitted this, and I was going to teach it as class, but no one signed up. So there's just the one frog, and he just hangs out in the summer as a decoration. So, okay, I think that's all I've got. I'm meeting up with another Flosstuber on Monday. I'm really excited about that, so I'll update you later about that. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you've been having a great few weeks. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much for coming by to watch. Thank you so much for those of you who take the time to leave comments. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for subscribing. I love hearing from you and getting a chance to interact with you in the comments, so I really appreciate it. Take care, and I will see you again in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.